can come and study in depth the scriptures of Vedanta and have an opportunity to do their sadhana and develop themselves and be inspired to serve the world. The 19th Sandipani Vedanta course in English at Powai, Mumbai will be starting on 15th January, Makar Sankranti, and I invite as well as encourage many of you to spread the word as well as join this most fulfilling Vedanta course.
Welcome to this enlightening online dialogue and question and answer session with the true spiritual luminary, Swami Advayananda, President of Chinmaya International Foundation and resident Acharya of the 19th Vedanta course. Let us first begin with an invocation.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवै सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापा ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ
I am delighted to be your MC for this event. My name is Malvika and I am a Yuvaveer from batch 10. Joining me today is Chaitanya from Chick Navi, Mumbai.
Hari Om. Thank you, Malvika, for such a hearty welcome. And it's indeed my pleasure to join you and everyone here as a seeker and as a Vedantin. So, thanks a lot. As we embark on the profound journey of self discovery and spiritual insight, as we explore the timeless questions that have echoed through the ages. Why am I here? What's my purpose? Am I on the right path towards fulfilling my life's purpose? How do I discover my life's purpose? What answers does spirituality have?
Today, we are looking to answer some of these questions. In the interest of time, we would be asking the questions to Swamiji, which are there in most of our minds. Post which, we would be switching the format and taking questions from the audience. Any questions during the sessions must be typed to questions on Zoom chat window. So get ready to engage in a meaningful dialogue and gain invaluable insights that may transform your perspective on life's purpose and spiritual fulfillment. I now extend a very warm welcome to our esteemed speaker, Swami Advayananda. Inspired by Swami Chinmaya, he began his spiritual journey very young. After completing his Vedanta course in 1992, under Swami Chinmayananda's guidance, he embraced sannyasa in 2003 under Swami Tejomayananda. Currently, he serves as the president of Chinmaya International Foundation and is a trustee of Chinmaya Vishwavidyapeeth. He served at various Chinmaya mission centers in Tamil Nadu and played a very important role in spiritual education at the Chinmaya International Foundation School, Coimbatore, from 1996 to 2000. In 2000, he became Acharya of Sandipani Vidya Mandir in Coimbatore, conducting Vedanta courses in Tamil and English. Since 2003, he has dedicated himself to Chinmaya International Foundation. Swamiji is a prolific author and editor, contributing to the understanding of Vedanta. He is known for works like the Holy Gita Ready Reference and has co-edited scholarly publications. He also played a significant role in projects like Upanishad Ganga, a television series promoting Upanishadic wisdom. Swami Advayananda continues to advance Indian knowledge systems through CIF and CVV. Welcome, Swamiji.
Hari Om, Malvika.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Yes. So, Swamiji, let's begin with the session. Let's begin with the questions.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Whatever you want to ask and whatever everyone wants to ask, I'm always welcome. Please go ahead.
Yes. So let's start with the title itself, Swamiji. What is meant by purpose? Does everyone have the same purpose or are they different for each one?
All right. See, when we say purpose, Malvika, so what we are actually asking for is why, right? It's why. What's the meaning? What for? The reason, right? So this is what we mean by purpose. Now, interestingly, if you look at this purpose, you asked many things there. You asked about purpose for each one, or is it different, or is it same, or all those things. Now, when you say purpose, then what for or why, meaning, in other words, we are all alive, we are all living. So you are asking what is the purpose? Is it same for all, different for all, or lots of various things there. Now let us just ask simply a question, okay? Now I get up in the morning. So when I get up in the morning, what am I to do? What should I do? Now there are many things. Each one would have in their list of things to be done, whatever, So lots of things are there. But suppose we ask each and every person, each one of us, we ask ourselves also, hey, what is it that I want to buy all these things? It may be anyone. It can be anybody with any profession or any interest, anything. But their list of things, what they want to do or what they want to accomplish, if you ask, what is it that I want to achieve? Now you will always find that everyone is equally having the same thing. You may wonder, how can everyone in the whole world have the same kind of purpose? But really speaking, you think carefully, you will find that everyone wants to be free of sorrow. And everyone wants to be fulfilled with happiness. So being free from sorrow, being fulfilled with happiness, these things, this doesn't change. Here, so many of you are here. Each one asks for yourself, what is this not true? Is this not valid? So when you ask what is the purpose, what is the meaning, why for life, finally it amounts to this: being free of sorrow, being happy and fulfilled. This does not change. Now let me also give a small anecdote which is actual happening. We all know that Swami Vivekananda went to US and then he delivered his famous address, the Chicago Parliament of Religions. We all know that. Sisters and brothers of America, we all know that. So as Swamiji Vivekananda was going by the ship at the time, there were also a lot of people, of course, in the ship. One youngster surprised to see a Swamiji, in the ship, and then the Swami Vivekananda had a very radiant personality, very with robes flowing, and he had his own kind of what would you say, a pagadi, whatever. So Swamiji, and he had a very radiant and a very smiling presence. So naturally the youngster went to Swamiji and started a conversation. And during the process of conversation, many things discussed. But then Swamiji wanted him to start giving thought. Okay, he found him an intelligent boy. Therefore, asked a question. Said, "What do you want to do? Meaning, what do you want to do?" He said. The youngster said, "I'm going to go to UK, London, and I'm going to pursue some studies." Why are you studying? Why am I studying? I want to gain good knowledge. That's why I'm going for studying. Okay. Why do you want to gain good knowledge? See, then he said, why do I want to gain? I want to get a good job. Now, Swamiji did not leave him. Why do you want to get a good job? So the youngster said, I want to have a good job because I can have a good salary. Okay. Why do you want to have a good salary? I want to have a good salary because I can have a nice home, build a big home. Why do you want a big home? You see, as the questions went by, why do you want a big home? I want to have a good wife, and then I want to have a good family. Why do you want to have a good wife and a family? Finally, the youngster said, I want to be happy. You see, I don't think anyone here wants to be sad. I don't think anyone wants to be unfulfilled. Actually, we all want to be free of sorrow. And what kind of being free of sorrow? We want to be free of sorrow forever. What kind of happiness we want? We want happiness which is ultimate, which is complete. In Vedanta, we call this, can I use some Sanskrit lines to tell Malvika or?
Yes, Swamiji.
Yeah. So how it is said, you see, beautifully it is said, Atyantika dukkha nivritti. Nivritti means to be free of, to give up, cessation. Dukkha is sorrow. Atyantika means what? Complete. So complete freedom from sorrow. That is one aspect. Now remember, it is not just freedom from sorrow which is complete for us. Because in deep sleep also we are free of all sorrows. Right? We can be free of sorrows many ways. Even now, if I want to be free of anything, I'm not sorrowful or anything like that now. I'm very happy being with all of you. But any time I can be free of the world by going to sleep or finding some other way, there are many ways to do that. But just freedom from sorrow is not complete for us. We also want complete, fulfilling happiness. So this complete, fulfilling happiness there's a word for that we use, Paramananda Prapti. Prapti is gaining. Nivritti is free, being free. Prapti is gaining. So gaining what? Paramananda. Ananda is happiness. Paramananda is complete, true, meaningful happiness. So what is the purpose of life? For all of us, it is same. Atyantika dukkha nivritti, absolute cessation of sorrow, Paramananda Prapti, gaining complete, meaningful, fulfillment, happiness. You would say bliss or whatever names we want to use. That's a different matter. But finally, this becomes a purpose. So, what is the purpose of all of us sitting here? I don't see some of the videos. Can I have some videos so that I can look at all of you? And then I know to whom I'm speaking to. So when we, to each one who's sitting here, who is whatever sitting, standing or whatever watching, this becomes the final purpose. And this is the purpose of life. Okay? Purpose of life. So Malvika, I have answered one aspect. Okay? But I should also say one thing. This may be the purpose of life. But remember, there is also a calling of one's inherent inclinations towards certain things. In other words, what I mean by calling is this. So I'm using two words now, okay? One is purpose, another word I'm using is calling. So each one have a different calling. Okay, that is also there. It's not that we all have the same purpose, but there is a different calling. Somebody, their calling may be, I want to be a teacher. Somebody's calling, I want to be a farmer. Somebody's calling, I want to be an artist. Somebody's calling, I want to be whatever, I want to be an engineer. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a politician. So there is a calling. You see, there's a word calling I'm using, calling. This word calling, this is dependent upon each one of us, our inclinations, our interest, our nature. So our nature, our inclination, our kind of wish and want, that leads to calling. Okay? But remember, whatever be the calling, no calling finally we want. Meaning whatever calling means, whatever profession we take to fulfill that call, inner calling, whatever activity we take to fulfill that calling. But one change. I want to be happy is not going to change. I don't want sorrow will not change. So calling can be many. Purpose is somehow naturally one. Okay? Have I answered your question, Malvika?
Yes, Swamiji.
Anything further you want also, please feel free to ask, okay?
Yes.
Thank you, Swamiji. I think that was a very insightful answer. And there is a movie I remember watching, The Pursuit of Happiness.
Yes.
The concept does not guarantee us the happiness, but it guarantees us the pursuit of happiness. And it is what we are all looking for.
Yeah.
And that is what is purpose. And very nicely put, Swamiji. So,
Chaitanya, one more point I would say here. When you say pursuit of happiness, remember there is something called pursuit of happiness, there's something called pursuit of pleasure. These are also 2 points we have to keep in mind. When I say pursuit of pleasure, I'm looking for some kind of sensory input which is comfortable for me. Okay, so pleasure is different, happiness is different. Now, what I mean by pleasure and happiness is different. Pleasure is sensory, what the world can give and what I can take. Pleasure is a kind of aggrandizement from the external world. Happiness is deeper. One may have pleasure, one may not have pleasure, but one can have happiness. One can have fulfillment. Sometimes you'll find people go in the opposite way of pleasure to find happiness and fulfillment. Okay. Now, what do you mean, Swamiji? People go opposite way of pleasure to find happiness. For example, let us say a student. Let us give an example of a student here. Very simple. You can easily understand. A student, right? Now, suppose there is some wonderful, wonderful match or something, cricket or whatever it is, and the next day is an examination which is very, very important. Now, watching the match is pleasure. But an intelligent student, what the student may do or should do or probably would do, an intelligent student, a wise student, let us say, would be willing to sacrifice his pleasure. Why? For a greater happiness. So it is not necessarily that one will have to give a pleasure. One may go through pleasure also, but remember, happiness is deeper than pleasure. So just as I meant purpose, right? And then I said calling. Here also you see there is happiness and there is pleasure. And wisdom says when to say yes to pleasure, when to say no to pleasure. That is wisdom. Well, that's fine. That may not be the question you want to ask. Please ask. What is it that you would like to ask?
Yes, Swamiji. So the question that I was coming to was actually the purpose that we all have is, of course, it's individual goals and the calling, as you say, right? So this calling, is it something that is inherently present to us from our birth, or is it something that we acquire as we embark on our journey in life?
Yes, this is also a good question. Now remember, I use two words, okay? Purpose and I use the word calling. Now you are asking about calling, am I right?
Yeah.
Purpose is inherent.
Purpose
is inherent and very deeply inherent. And purpose is universal. Now, calling, you are asking a question whether it is inherent or is it something as we go through life, we have a certain experience or something like that, and our calling can change and all. Okay, but life is always, as you know, and as probably we can inquire into that at a different time, because this topic now you're asking is purpose. But life doesn't begin with birth. Okay, death is only a semicolon, and birth is the continuation of the sentence. So when the sentence goes, you have a semicolon, right? A semicolon is not a full stop. The sentence still continues. In other words, what I mean to say is that birth is only a continuation of the past in a different embodiment. In a different embodiment means in a different body. Okay. So what happens? I continue as an individual, death. Then I continue again as an individual, that is a birth. Then I go through life. In other words, I am not, I am not a clean slate when I am born. I am carrying impressions of the past. And now when I carry impressions of the past, naturally I have a certain nature. Okay. Of course, when as a child, one as an infant, one as a baby or an infant or a child, it is taking time to express. That nature is not expressing fully. Because everything takes time, the body is growing, the brain is growing, meaning the equipments through which the individual can express his nature or her nature takes its time. But then remember, there is an inherent nature in that person. Sometimes it can express sometimes it expresses very fast also. And that's how we speak of child prodigies and all we say. We say somebody, at a very young age, the person is able to play tabla. Sometimes you can feel in children also. Very, 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 as they are, continuously, they are also doing something, kind of drumming. And then, you see that there is something. Some children are very good in languages. Some children are very good in certain fields, like, for example, mathematics and something. Some children are very good in certain sciences. Some children are very good in art. Some children, different people, persons who are born, they have a nature in them. And that nature kind of molds into a certain calling. That nature molds into a certain, it gives way to a certain calling. Okay. So different people, different persons, according to their inherent nature, it will rise in a certain calling. Sometimes the calling may not be very, very evident. It will express in a very general way. Oh, I have interest probably I have interest in art. Okay. Now, what is the exact art? Is it sculpturing or is it painting or is it? I have interest in music. What kind of music it is? I have interest in sciences. Now, what kind of science? It may be a very general kind of thing also. Okay. So, but that shows the direction of movement. And as the person starts pursuing that movement, it can become clearer and clearer also. Then the person says, yes, I want to learn medicine, but I want to be a researcher rather than a doctor. Or somebody says, I want to be a doctor, but I want to specialize myself in, let us say, brain, or I want to specialize myself in certain, in ophthalmology. I want to specialize, different it can come. So there is a nature which kind of expresses in a certain direction. As one pursues that direction, the calling becomes evident. Calling can be evident before also. For some, it is becomes like that. For some, as the progress in the direction, the calling becomes clear. And as the calling becomes clear, the movement becomes more and more. Now remember, there is as I said, when a child is born, the child is not a clean slate. This comes with the impressions. And if in life, as we go through our experiences, we gain more and more impressions. We gain more and more of new experiences, and these experiences join with the old impressions and also can create some kind of, give you a little direction. I'll give an example. We all know Steve Jobs. Not know means we don't know him, but we have heard of him, and then whatever we know about, heard of him and studied or hear. Steve Jobs, right? A very famous Apple, Macintosh, and all of them. Remember, he wanted to go in the direction of technology, for sure. So that direction was clear for him. But you see what all things he did. He went and learned calligraphy. Now, why would, that's a new experience. Interest is there. He went and learned. Now, he came to India, learned meditation and things like that also. So many things he learned. But finally, he could put everything together because he had learned calligraphy. That knowledge helped him to create fonts. He could create surf fonts, sans serif fonts, so many kind of things he could create. And that was Apple Macintosh was the first computer which could integrate all these fonts and all also. Otherwise, earlier it was not this kind of font. It was all that, I don't know if you have seen the old computer and all, it'll go with a certain way, which is very, very, but mechanical. Whereas here, he could incorporate all those things. Right? In other words, he could move in a certain direction and life experiences also join, and finally the direction is evident, the calling becomes more and more clear, and then the person moves forward. Remember, calling may be different, but purpose is same. That doesn't change. Purpose of no sorrow, purpose of full happiness, that always remains the same. Calling may be different. Direction may be different. Now, in that direction also one may change calling. In between, one can also change one's calling. Like everything can change, but purpose will remain always the same. Chaitanya, is that clear?
Yes, Swamiji, super clear.
Okay, good.
Swamiji, can this, as you said, yes, Swamiji. So can this calling be noble and evil as well? And does that justify actions of people like Ravana or Hitler or the terrorists who have committed grave injuries to humanity or the environment?
Okay, let me take the case of Hitler.
Okay.
Ravana, Hitler, these names you mentioned, right?
Right.
So let me take the case of Hitler. What did Hitler want? Hitler wanted Germany to be a great country. Okay? I'm talking what he exactly wanted. He wanted Germany, after World War I, Germany was kind of very subjugated, kind of insulted. Although treaties and all the World War I treaty, it was kind of very, very damaging for Hitler, for Germany. Okay. Now he rose to be very angry about it, and he wanted Germany to be top country of Europe, greatest country, the richest country, all those kind of things. Nothing of it was wrong. Nothing of it was wrong. But what was wrong, you think? He came to wrong conclusions. He said Jews are the community which has destroyed our country. Now that was a mistaken thinking. Now again he went into lots of mistaken thinking. Now all this mistaken thinking then it led to the life of Hitler and the terrible things that he had caused to this world is all too well known for me to recount and tell. But we all know what a very damaging person to the whole world Hitler was. He was a person singularly responsible for a world war. Not only that, how many people he exterminated? And what all foolishness. So you can see that even though a goal may be right, the methodology adopted can go wrong due to various reasons, including one's own wrong thinking and wrong estimation, wrong decisions, improper judgments. And then when a person is a very capable and a person who is a very charismatic person, a leader like him, and a powerful speaker, many things go into such kind of a person, then all of them combined together can be so dangerous for the world. So your question of, can that calling be wrong? I would rather say calling may not be wrong, but the methodology adopted to fulfill that can go wrong. The means adopted can go wrong. The goal should be right, the means also should be right. That's called dharma. Okay, that's called dharma. So what is the goal? What is the means? If both of them are right, then that is the truest welfare possible. The same, now Hitler, so Hitler, you said, I have, now go to Ravana. Ravana wanted to be happy. Happiness is not wrong. In fact, full happiness, complete happiness is a natural calling for every being. I would say it's also a calling even for animals and plants. It's not just for human beings. That calling is, what do you call that purpose is so deep and so, so common and so universal. But because I want to be happy, I kidnap somebody's wife. That cannot be the right way of doing things. Because I want my country to be great, I want to invade other countries. That cannot be the right thing to do. So you have to see when the means and the goal do not match in dharma, when there is dissonance in dharma, when there is no consonance between the goal and the means, or when wrong judgments and erroneous thinking clouds one's intellect in the direction of what one wants to achieve, things can go wrong. And that is where clarity in thinking is so important. Clarity in thinking. So in Vedanta, we speak of two terms, two expressions: clarity in thought, purity of heart. Both are important. Purity of heart, clarity of thought. When purity of heart and clarity of thought become married together, they come together, then you have a very powerful being. And when that clarity of thought and purity of heart makes one choose the path of righteousness, dharma. And with that power, when one walks towards the goal, one walks towards one's calling, then one is fulfilled. Right? And if one can dedicate one's actions to a higher purpose, a larger cause, one becomes more and more inherently a superior person, a superior human being, in a very, very nobler way superior. And such people achieve great accomplishments for which the whole world is thankful. Have I clarified? Have I answered your question, Malvika?
Right, Swamiji. Yes.
In short, it is this: the goal, the calling may not be wrong. The means and the method adopted to fulfill one's goal and calling can go wrong because of various reasons. And to protect it, purity of heart, clarity of thought. Okay?
Right, Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji. I think the next question, of course, the calling and the goal, and of course, we need to put aim, of course, to have like to move towards it. So the next question is somewhere on those lines. So we wanted to know if there is a difference between goals in life and the purpose of life, and then what is your purpose of life, and how did you discover it? How do you, and one more thing, just so we can apply it in our lives, is one more question that I had as a follow-up to this was, how do you fix your goals? So, yeah.
That's a lot of things, Chaitanya, at one go.
Swamiji, just to summarize.
I understand your question. Let me take it up. Okay?
Yes, Swamiji.
So you have purpose. You have calling. Okay? As though I'm putting both of them in a different hand doesn't mean this and this. You have a purpose and then you have a calling. Okay? Every purpose or every calling is a goal that you set. Okay? Now, to accomplish, whether it is a purpose or whether it is a calling, to accomplish that, you set certain, what can you say, certain milestones. See, when you know, suppose you have to go, let us say, for example, I'm in Cochin, okay? Suppose I have to go to Mumbai. I know what is the direction I have to take. I know if I take a train, I know what are the stations, important stations which will come. Okay? Suppose I go by flight, I know what are the places which is crossing and going, right? So I have some idea. And then what happens? Whether it is a purpose or a calling, we can set certain kind of timelines, we can set milestones, we can set. Now the milestone becomes a goal. Okay? The timeline to achieve it can also be a goal. I say I want to reach in 1 hour. That's also a goal. I want to reach this place. That is also a goal. Whether it is a purpose or whether it is a calling, one can set these kind of goals. And then one can see whether one is accomplishing it at the right time, in the right pace, right play, right direction. All those things are important. The direction is important. I want to go to Mumbai, but I'm traveling southern direction. I can't reach. I will reach Trivandrum probably. So direction should be right. Number one. Then direction should be right. Then the place or what I want to reach should also be right. Then the time required also should be right. Everything has to be rightly planned out, right? Sometimes we're all great experts in planning out. There's no problem about that. But the problem is this: we can plan, but we don't execute our plan. Gurudev used to say very beautifully, plan out your work and work out your plan. All right. So whether it is a purpose or a calling, one should have that, clarity of thought, that wisdom to plan out the movement forward by fixing goals. And that we may say, this is a short-term goal, this is a long-term goal, this is a higher goal, etc., etc. one can have. But then it should be in the right direction. It should be in the pace required. All those things should happen. Now this is about goals and all those things. Now what was the other one you asked me? You asked my purpose. Something you asked, right? Can you repeat that again, please?
Yes, Swamiji. It was, how did you, what is your purpose in life and how did you discover it? And how do you fix your goals? I think that was...
That is a personal question. Nevertheless, let me answer in a very... You can see I'm a sannyasi, right? So you definitely know that it has to be a spiritual purpose. So mine, of course, is a spiritual purpose. And let me say how I discovered it. You are asking. See, when I was young, when I was studying in my 11th grade, I somehow, by Lord's grace or whatever you may say, or by the way of the cosmos or whatever, my parents took me to Puja Gurudev. Gurudev, Swami Chinmaya. When I say Gurudev, I'm referring to Swami Chinmaya. Gurudev was taking a Vivekachudamani camp, marathon camp, 40 days, 35-40 days he was taking in a place called Siddhabari in Himachal Pradesh. Okay. So see, I was a young boy, 11th grade. My total focus was I want to become a doctor. Medicine was my calling. I felt like that. Medicine was my calling and I wanted to do that. I was working very hard, preparing also for it. And all those things. So by my aim, I wanted to become a doctor because when we were at that time, when we used to study, books and all, they used to paint Africa very, very badly. That there's a lot of, people suffering there, a lot of diseases, all those things. So I had a thought I should become a medicine doctor, and then go to Africa and serve. That kind of, inner thinking, thought process was there in my mind. So I went to 11th grade. I was probably 15 years or something. I went to, and see, I was a youngster, as I was a youngster, there is a time when you go as a youngster, when you kind of become a rebel. You kind of, whatever you say, no, I'm not that. So God and religion, spirituality, these were all abhorrent for me. I was a kind of I come from a family which is devoted, but the process of youth is when you start thinking and when you don't get answers to your questions, rather than, you feel everything is superstition. Okay. So I had that kind of thinking, that kind of framework. But I went nevertheless to Siddhabari. My parents took me because Himalayas attracted. So we're going to see Himalayas, the Ganges, right? So these kind of things encouraged me. And definitely, parents are taking you, and your, school you are missing for for a few, for 35, 40 days. These are all very delightful things to happen, So go. So I went to Himachal Pradesh, Siddhabari, and as Gurudev was explaining, Vivek is a very beautiful text written by Adi Shankaracharya. Okay. So as Gurudev was explaining the Vivek I was getting answers to all my queries, all my questions. And it was very, very, and Swamiji, Gurudev, his explanations are absolutely, so charming or so magical. I can't, what words to use. So endearing, so delightful. Because, his classes were super enjoyable. You are 15 years old, but it was truly enjoyable, and I'm getting all my answers, and suddenly I am understanding the deeper questions. What is happiness? What is fulfillment? Where does happiness lie? Does happiness lie outside, inside? Or is it, what is our nature? What is his world? Is there God? Who created this world? Who created me? What is the purpose of life? Meaning all, and it was all Shankaracharya's Vivek Shramani is brilliant, and Gurudev's exposition to it absolutely marvelous. And lots of people there with the same kind of mentality and thinking, and I find also students from who had completed the Vedanta course in Bombay, Sandipini also there. They are all our in group discussions. You have plenty of opportunity to discuss with them. Then going for walks also with them in Siddhabari, Himachal Pradesh. The whole thing was so mesmerizing, and it had such a deep impact on me, Chaitanya, that I said, this is what I want. Suddenly I found out my true purpose. Okay? And Gurudev there, and you could ask Gurudev questions, and Gurudev would reply. Direct opportunity to sit with the master, a man of self-realization, a Mahatma of enormous stature. It was a very different. So one day I decided I'm enough is enough. I'm going to go meet Gurudev. So I asked Gurudev, I want to meet you personally, I said. He looked at me, said, personally you want to meet me? Yes. He gave a time, I went and met. Then I told him I want to do by the time I understood there's something called Vedanta course. Sandipini, Vedanta course, I understood because brahmacharis who had completed, the sadhakas who had completed that course were all there, and they were all group leaders for our group discussion and all. Every day was a group discussion, 1.5 hours, where we would summarize what we have studied, what we have not understood, we can ask, and they would also ask us questions to know whether we have understood properly. So that kind of process. So I understood there is something called Sandipini, something called Vedanta course, where one can systematically study all these higher thought, greater knowledge, deeper knowledge, which answers the fundamental questions of life. And suddenly I felt so inspired. So I told Gurudev, I want to join the Vedanta course. I want to join Sandipini. He said, why? I said, the Brahman you're talking, I want that. That's what I told Gurudev. And of course, Gurudev was kind enough, because in Vedanta, for Vedanta course to join, Chaitanya, one needs to be a graduate. So that was a criterion, a graduate. But Gurudev was very, very kind, compassionate, and blessing me. I said, I want to come now. I want to join the ashram now. I'm not going to go home. I want now, I said. He said, why? Why you want to join? I said, I don't want to go to the world because the vasanas will catch. All that I studied from the class, I'm pouring it on him. He laughed and said, what vasanas you're talking? Live a life dedicated to the higher. I don't want you to come in such a manner, incomplete, without doing your studies at least. Nobody should think that you're an escapist. I don't want anyone, and I don't want you go complete your studies. And then he gave me a target. You should get distinction. So that kind of thing. And rest is then after I finished my 12th, I joined the Sandipini, and I cannot say anything could have been better than what I did. I was too young, It may look as though that I decided too young at a moment of moment of some inspiration. No, it was well thought of. I knew this is what I wanted. And it was very clear. And more than that, I can only say Gurudev blessed. I cannot say more than any reason. It happened for me that way. And that, very young age, you see, when you're 18, 19, 17, 18, I must have joined Sandipani, young age. So you're so fresh. And your knowledge, I was devouring like a glutton knowledge, the whole Vedanta. And whatever you want to do, if you do start young, you have a tremendous advantage. That happened for me. So that's the thing, how I discovered my purpose this way. And yeah, that's fine, Chaitanya. I don't know why you ask these kind of questions personal, but that's fine. Go ahead.
Swamiji, it was very inspiring to know your journey, and your story always inspires us to be on the path of a seeker. So I think thanks a lot for telling us the story of how you joined the course and how you found your calling.
How I found my purpose was there, and how I found also the way to fulfill that purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Swamiji, you are going to take up the role as the Acharya of the Vedanta course at Sandipani Sadhanalaya. Can you tell us a little bit more about the course maybe, and who is it really meant for, and who do you think is qualified for such a course?
See, we have discussed about purpose, right?
Yes, Swamiji.
So we all understand what is purpose. The purpose is total freedom from sorrow, complete fulfillment. Regardless of what the calling may be. Regardless of what the calling, this is the purpose. Now, anyone who seeks this purpose, Malvika, anyone who seeks this purpose, who wants to find the way for accomplishing this, the course is meant for such a person. Okay? I can also say in a certain manner, this can express in certain ways. The following ways, let us say. One could be that I want to know answers to these questions. These questions may look very simple, but they are very fundamental, no doubt, but they're very deep. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Am I this person or something different? Is there a deeper sense to me? Because you see, when you're sleeping, you don't have the sense of body being a man or woman, Indian or Chinese, right? A doctor or engineer, a good person or a bad person, capable or incapable person, nothing. But you are not dead. So who am I? 10 years back, I was a younger person, now probably middle-aged. 10 years afterwards, I'm going to be a whatever, old or whatever. I'm neither young nor old or middle-aged. What is happening? Who am I? Very deep question. Like you asked, what is the purpose of? We discussed what is the purpose of life. It is very logical. It is clear for all of you. But how to achieve it? How to gain that? These are not very simple. So it can express in some as this kind of question. Fundamental questions. I want to seek answers for that. I want discovery. Sometimes one may use a word for these kind of things because one has the tradition, the culture, people who have walked the path to saints and saintly people. So one is inspired by the life of saints. So it can be that way also. I want to walk the path of the saints. I want God realization. I want self-realization. I seek answers to deeper questions of life. Or I want to study the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, the sacred scriptures. I want to go deep into it. And I want to go deep into it in a Gurukula, where I have guidance from the experts who have walked the path, not just from professors and scholars. I want to have a Gurukula experience. I want to master my mind. I want to go beyond the mind. It can express in so many ways. Sometimes it can also express this way. I want to serve the society. I don't find any meaning in living a selfish life. I want to serve the culture. In many, many ways, the same purpose of life can manifest in certain manner. Anyone who has this kind of questions are the persons who are fit for this Vedanta course. Okay? So the question you asked was, who are the type of people who want to do the Vedanta course? And this Vedanta course is conducted in the Gurukula of the Chinmaya mission, which is called Sandipani Sadhanalaya, which is in Mumbai. Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji, he received this knowledge deep in the high Himalayas, Uttarakashi, Gangotri, from Sri Swami Tapovanamji, Sri Swami Shivananji, and once he gained this knowledge, he wanted to share this knowledge to all of us, to give maximum happiness to the maximum people for the maximum time. This is as you know, this is the what do you call? This is the vision statement of Chinmaya mission, right? This is a vision, and how that is possible through the knowledge of Vedanta. This is possible. Maximum happiness, maximum. You see the purpose? Can you see that? Maximum happiness for the maximum people, for the maximum. This is the purpose which all of us have. Now, this purpose is fulfilled through Vedanta. So, Gurudev set up this Gurukula where youngsters can be trained, given this knowledge, and once they gain this knowledge, they see the fulfillment this knowledge can provide, and then they serve the society by sharing this knowledge and enabling in that way a vibrant culture, a beautiful tradition which is preserved and shared for posterity, not only for India but for all over the world. So this was Gurudev's vision. Okay? Initially, it may not be that somebody is inspired by that vision, okay? But as one goes to that knowledge, then one sees the meaning in all these things. And as one gets transformed and sees the joy of inner transformation, then one wishes also this joy should be shared. Okay? The beauty of selflessness combined with happiness is the wish to share that happiness with all. Right? So this is the Sandipani, the Gurukula. Sandipani Sadhanalaya is the Gurukula of the Chinmaya mission. And in a 2 years program, this whole knowledge is communicated. This whole wisdom is communicated. Remember, wisdom, knowledge, they all require systematic progress and growth. Okay? So there is a systematic way by which this knowledge is communicated through the study of the scriptures and through the practice of certain disciplines, certain sadhanas. When I say discipline, what I mean is sadhanas, certain practices, japa, dhyana, right? Then all these things are also Sandipani Sadhanalaya. So sadhana also joins with knowledge. And in a 2 years period, through a thorough study of the Shastras, through a disciplined practice of all these practices, all these sadhanas, then one gains this knowledge and then one becomes fulfilled. And of course, various, what can I say, criterion also is there. One has to be a graduate between the age of 20 to 32, maximum we can go up to 35. Some exceptions can be there, but there is an age also where one can receive this knowledge in its full depth. And Sanskrit is also taught along with the course. Vedic chanting also is part of it. Along with it, one is trained in that seva attitude also. Narayana Seva, so many various aspects are given. Then Bhagavata, Ramayana, all of them are also taught. Devotion also comes along with knowledge. So one becomes a complete, fulfilled noble person, first of all, and then one makes one becomes trained in this wisdom to share it, fulfilling oneself and fulfilling the culture and tradition also. Is that Malvika? Is that answer to all your questions, or is there?
Yes, Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji. I think time to take some questions from the audience. One of the questions that comes from Jesh is that I'm going to read out the question. As I am in my early 20s, she says, there's this constant feeling of being lost and losing my real self. There's so much happening in life that I often ask myself that what's my purpose? For the time being, as a student, my purpose is to do my part and study. But what about life? Could you please guide me in finding the purpose in my life?
The person who has asked this question says that as a student, I know I have to study and do well. Yes, do that well. As you study and do well, you will keep finding for yourself what you have to do next. Okay, so and keep doing what you have to do next. Keep doing it. But deep inwardly, you will, if you find that yes, what is the purpose of life? If that question is there, I spoke about your calling. You keep doing what you have to do, and then your calling comes naturally. It matures, your mind matures, it starts coming, and all those things. But if there is that deeper sense of purpose, what is the purpose of life? Then I would say there is only one solution. There's only one solution, and that is get access to the wisdom which deals with this topic. Suppose you want to understand mathematics, you go to works which deal with mathematics, right? Chemistry, physics, you go to those kind of textbooks or literature which deals with that. Similarly, if you're asking what is purpose of life, you must have understood by now what is the purpose of life. For that you need to go into the scriptural wisdom, which we would say as Vedanta. Now, the word Vedanta is very, very interesting. Veda means knowledge. Anta means fulfillment, meaning where knowledge finds its fulfillment. Okay? Where you find knowledge leading to completeness. For that, you have to go to Vedanta. There are many other ways. You should probably join there is, the youth wing of the Chinmaya mission is called as a CHYK, CHYK, Chinmaya Yuva Kendra. If you are not associated, you can join, because there this discussion, this literature is studied. Meaning whole Chinmaya mission is focused on spiritual wisdom, but for the youth, you have this youth wing where the Chinmaya Yuva Kendra focuses on this. So you can see more and more that wisdom emanating if you can join and then study and be part of it. That's one. Also, there is one more program for the youth which is organized, which is just probably 45 days or 2.5 months, whatever, and that is called as Youth Empowerment Program. Okay, so that is something probably they can share with you the link and all those things. Either Malvika, Chaitanya, whoever is handling, they can share the link at it, because those are, in case you are interested in a very deeper program like Vedanta Sandipani, that's a different matter. You can of course apply, but suppose you say, no, that's not what that's too deep for me. I want to taste what is all these things. Then you have this youth empowerment program you can join. Suppose, let us say, as you know, the Vedanta course, it is a certain age, right? You have below 35, 32, you have that age. But if you are beyond the age also, you are not, because you have said you are a student, but if somebody beyond that age also, there's one more program called Vedanta Sadhaka course, which is a 1-year program where the same knowledge is being communicated, shared. So find the scriptural wisdom which can guide you to that. Okay. If you are asking what is the purpose with respect to goals, you are asking, keep walking, the path will become clearer. Okay.
Swamiji, quickly moving on to the next question. Swamiji, having understood what calling is, what should I do to discover my life's calling? And can you break it down to 4 or 5 tasks or habits?
Okay. So you are asking, how do I discover the calling, right?
Yes, Swamiji.
So for that, ask these kind of questions for yourself, okay? What is it that I would love to do? Love to do. Add certain things to that. What is it I would love to do regardless of success or failure? Okay? Whether I succeed or fail, it doesn't matter. I would love to do that. Number one. What is it that I would love to do regardless of people's praise or regardless of not getting so much of encouragement? What would I love to do? I'm again underlining the word love to do. What is it that I would love to do regardless of how much I gain or not gain? No, in other words, find out your core interest. Okay? If you can find out, at least find out the direction of your core interest, even if you can't specifically catch hold of what it is. So these questions will help you find out those things. What did I say? What is it that I love to do regardless of success or failure, criticism or encouragement, or gain or loss? These questions can help you discover that. And as you keep walking, that specific calling will become clear. If the general calling is clear, that itself is a great success, okay? Keep walking, it will become more and more clearer. And then you can actually really say, pinpoint it, I have found it out. And keep walking. And remember, life's experience also will add value to it. And it will become sharper and sharper. And if something is not, if you found out it's not the right one, life experience also will help you turn a bit, okay, and find the right one. Keep walking, you'll find it out. And be available for the world, okay? What do you mean be available for the world? Don't be, restrict yourself. Keep yourself open-minded. The greatest teacher is the world of experiences. Is the life of experience. It will teach you. Life has got a tendency to guide you by itself. Keep walking. Okay? So Malavika, this kind of thing, okay? And how do you accomplish it once you found out your goal? Break down into bits and pieces. Okay. And then keep walking.
Thanks, Swamiji.
Keep in mind, plan out your work out your plan. Plan out your work and then, I have planned out my work, now I can go to sleep. It will not work. Plan out your work and work out your plan. Sleep can be part of the plan.
Right, Swamiji.
Yes, Swamiji. Thanks a lot, I think, for breaking it down for us, because it can be a very vague process. And I think that quote, walk and you shall find, the path shall get clearer, is definitely. Yeah. The next question comes from Rakesh Dogra, which says, and I'm quoting it, most parents would want their children to go through the 4 ashramas of life. Most parents may not be happy with their child skipping the Grihastha ashram. How should this be handled?
That's a very, very good question. I will only say one thing, that most parents are there, no? There you have the answer, most. There are some parents who don't come under that category, right? That is one thing. Second, one thing, remember, what you are so deeply convinced about, what you are deeply convinced about, on which you don't have any kind of dilly-dallying. You're so firm. Remember, the cosmos cooperates to create a way for you. The cosmos cooperates. Now let me again share personal some. As I told you, I was very young. And don't you think that everything was smooth and easy ride for me. Lucky, my father said immediately yes. My mother did not agree. And my aunt and all those people also did not agree. But I stood firm. I said, I want this and want this. You should please give me permission. Okay? Because the blessings of parents are so important. You should give permission. So went on and on, kept on, kept on badgering with my request, this way, that way, and all those things. Slowly I found out that there was a receptivity. I had the advantage of writing to Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananji. I wrote, now there is a kind of conviction around, but still there is pressure from other family and all those things. Then Gurudev wrote to my mother also, said, why are you? He is deeply inclined and interested. You should not stop him. Why do you want him to do medicine? Finally, he wants to do this. After completing medicine, 5 years, 6 years, he would be wasted. And then what is he going to do? He wants to do this only. Why are you? So I had the advantage of Gurudev helping me out, and being such a powerful support to my mother, also helping her accept and understand. But all I want to say is that if you are deeply interested and you deeply want to do, somehow something works and things start moving in a direction which will fulfill your wish. Any deep wish which is noble, which has no selflessness, which has no selfishness, you'll find the cosmos cooperating to make it happen. Even selfish things, if you are deeply interested, cosmos cooperates. Selfless, nobler, higher purpose, great, wonderful things. It works. It works. How it works, you will see for yourself it works. That's the power of your own inner deep will and conviction. Okay? The cosmos works. It will happen. Yes, most yes, but there are exceptions. It works.
Swamiji, a next question from an audience called, her name is Swastik, and she has asked, I aspire to become one of the best doctors in India,
Good.
but
Good, I said, good.
Okay. But some unfavorable external factors are prevailing. I want to become a doctor, but my teacher underestimates me and asks me to change my aim. Tell me some methods so that we can apply and our aims that will be respected by everyone.
See, if you are sure you want to be a doctor, you have to strive on. That's the only thing. You have to keep striving. And if you find your teacher objecting, maybe you should talk to your teacher, find out what is the concern. If you know your teacher is loving you, carrying you, and for you, the teacher is willing to do anything and sacrificing so many things, that means it's a genuine good teacher. So you speak to the teacher, you find out why, what, and all those things. Maybe there is some need for discussion. If the teacher is not your capacity, then you work hard and show your capacity, and show how you are able to do things. Okay, so you have to keep striving. The world is a challenging place, and all the challenges are meant to make you stronger and capable. Okay, the challenges and the difficulties come not to stop us from achieving what we want, but rather to make us stronger and have the capacity, build the ability to achieve what we want to achieve. Difficulties and challenges are for helping us. They're not for destroying us. With the right attitude, you can use them for your advantage. Okay? So it's all up to you, my dear friend. You find a way. You find a way. And don't always think about the things of how people will respect and all those things. That's a different ball game. You want people to respect you for whatever. That's a very, somebody will respect, somebody will disrespect. You can't go by these kind of flimsy things. You find out what you exactly want to achieve, what you want to do, and then stick to that, work hard for that, and go about it. That's it. And those who love you, those who care for you, you sit with them, talk with them. People know that you are a person who is no more a kid, right? You're no more a kid. Discuss with them. I think if you do that, I'm sure things will be better. And if any challenge, difficulty is there, understand it is only to make you stronger, not to make you weaker. Okay?
Thanks a lot, Swamiji, for taking up and answering the questions patiently. In the interest of time, we would have to limit the questions for the day. But however, any more questions can be sent to info@chinmayayuvakendra.com, and rest assured, we'll be able to answer in detail on an email. I think thanks a lot, Swamiji, for
Chaitanya, can I make one request, Chaitanya?
Yes, Swamiji.
Since we spoke about the Sandipani, we spoke about the program and all, is it possible that you can show the flyer or something, a video about it, so that others can also know which website they should visit to know more, or phone call some information to get to know more? Is that possible? Do you have time for that?
I believe there are links provided on the chat for all the details regarding the course. But
Sandipani Sadhanalaya is meant to not only give the theory, but also the practice, so that each student will become perfect before he goes out to the world to share this great knowledge to the whole world at large.
Thank you, Chaitanya.
thanks, Swamiji. So the links for applying to the Sandipani Sadhanalaya, the Vedanta course, that's 2-year fully residential course, is given in the chat window. Please do go and explore and understand what it is that the course offers. And yeah, those of
share also with others.
Yes, please do share ahead with the people. Yeah, I think thanks a lot, Swamiji, for the enlightening session and answering all of our questions very patiently. I think this has been a wonderful session wherein we had so much to learn. We got so much to learn, and thanks a lot for being very patient and also sharing your story, which is a huge inspiration to all of us, and telling us more about the Vedanta course, of course. It's always a pleasure. I would also like to extend my gratitude to all the seekers who joined today, who wanted to seek and understand what is it that our purpose is, finding our purpose, and understanding the difference between purpose and calling and how each of it is different. So thanks a lot to everyone. I think we can end with Shanti Path.
Can I say one thing, Chaitanya?
Yes, Swamiji.
I would strongly encourage every participant who is a youngster here to associate yourself with spiritual wisdom, scriptural knowledge, and you can do that very, very effectively by being a member of the Chinmaya Yuva Kendra. Okay, Chinmaya Yuva Kendra, CHYK. Get more information about it, and wherever you are, be a participant. You can be anywhere in the world and be a participant and benefit from the great scriptural wisdom of this ancient land, Bharata. Our rishis' wisdom can benefit all of you in a totally very different way. Okay, take the benefit of it and wish you all the best always. A joy always to be with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji. The website link for Chinmaya Yuva Kendra is also in the link, also in the chat. So please do go and visit and be in touch with the local chapter wherever you are. We have Yuva Kendra classes all across India and also internationally available. So please do get in touch, and for anything you can also email info@chinmayayukendra.com and it should be fine. Thanks a lot for joining, and let's end the workshop today with the Shanti Part. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Does the life of the saints and the path that they have walked inspire you? Do you seek deeper meaning to life? Do you want to study the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, the Brahma Sutra, the excellent commentaries of Sri Adi Shankaracharya, the beautiful expositions of Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda, all in a Gurukula under the guidance of expert Acharyas? These life questions, do you seek true answers for them? What are you waiting for? The Sandipni Sadhanalaya beckons you. Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda invites you for the Vedanta course. Apply today.
Chik Bharat, can we make some
Hari Om, Vanakkam, Vandanam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Swagatam, and welcome to Be There's 14th edition.
The point that you are born in this most amazing country called Bharat shows that we have done so much for you. For India to be a Vishwa Guru, for India to be Akhand Bharat, to make India radiant, resilient and resurgent. Bolo Bharat Mata ki.
We stand as one family, bound to each other with love and respect.
You know, we're always waiting for governments to make a difference, for intergovernmental bodies, for politicians, for leaders, for corporations to make a difference, when the truth is that the only way we can bring about meaningful change is if we change our own behaviors.
It is only when we take action that we can #be there for anything or anyone.
This play has manifested as a part of Pujya Gurudev's vision. One of the rarest gems of our Sanatan Dharma is Swami Vidyaranya Ji, about whom you will see.
May you become a great Dharma Yodha who will fight for cultural revival and emerge victorious.
It
is time to reclaim our land and our culture. It is time for Hindus and Hindu Rashtra to rise again. Sanatana Hindu Dharma ki Jai! Bharat Mata ki Jai!
Positive assertion of the real self. That is what Vedanta is in a nutshell. That is what it teaches you. We will have to become Vedantic warriors.
There's a saying, they buried us. They did not know that we were seeds. We will sprout and we did sprout. We will sprout again and again.
If the two generations work hard, then Bharat and Bharat Mata will be positioned in the world and will be respecting this world.
You have to decide whether you are the generation which will take forward the legacy of Bharat, or you will be the generation which lets down the legacy of Bharat.
I would say the first legend in this regard who understood how this beast had to be tackled in a very, very realistic way, and perhaps the smartest of ways possible, which remains relevant even today, is Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj.
Bharat has always been a society which innovated. When the world was fighting with each other with swords and violence and capturing geographical lands, before that, Bharat was the only society in the world which basically conquered the mind of humans.
We conclude, so see you in the service of Bharat. Hari Om. Thank you very much.
We believe service of our country is a service of the Lord of Lords, and devotion to the people is a devotion to the Supreme Spirit. We know our responsibility. Give us the ability and courage to fulfill them.